All right, welcome to 2022, the first episode of Hobby Hotline in the new year. Hope everybody had a great new year and safe. And here to join us this morning. Hopefully, you're in shape to join us this morning. I had a late night, but set my alarm and and here we are. Celebrated 23 years of marriage last night, and like I told Rich before we went live. I'm still waiting for my invite to the White House. For that, I check my mailbox every day. All I get instead is sports cards, but I'm still waiting for that invite to the White House. But uh, joining me today, we kind of sort of have a loosey goosey show. We don't have like a set rotation, but happy to be joined, as you see on my screen, by Uncle Rich Klein and Dale comes Chris Harris, who's actually in motion. He's the
Yes,
only one moved.
live from I-95 in Delaware. So I'm on my way to my brother's house in North Jersey, so we can celebrate our second Christmas. So
Where in North Jersey, Chris?
uh, it's in like the Somerset, Raritan area.
Okay, because I remember I grew up in North Jersey, so I'm always interested in where people
Yeah,
are from
right
New
off
Jersey.
right off the Raritan Valley line. So
Okay, so that's like exit 130 or so.
yeah, in
Yeah,
that area.
yeah. And
So,
and by the way, I will remind this is an open call day, so by all means, anybody who wants to come in, John, please post the link. This
Yeah,
is
I'm about to do it. It's literally as I was about to do it as you said that. That's great minds apparently think alike. So there's there's it in the chat room. There's the link. Anyone wants to call in, talk about current events, how their past year was in the hobby, whatever you want to talk about. Like I said, we have a sort of a loosey goosey show today with not.
but I think we actually had a story break yesterday. I mean, just to show that the year is still 2021 would not leave us alone on the final day of the year. And no, and rest in peace, Betty White, who was a cultural icon. Topps decided to leave us with, oh, by the way, Bowman's Best is going to have rookie cards in it that we didn't expect.
Yeah, well, one being Wander Franco is probably the big name out of that. When I saw this, Rich, now you worked at Beckett, you've been doing this a long time too. You know some of the inner workings, not just at Beckett, but even with some of the card manufacturers themselves. I mean, this to me, I've heard the word. Let me put the banner. I've heard the word like an accident. Um, you know. But I think this was, I used the line intentionally by accident. I don't believe that something like this is done unintentional or an oversight type of deal. And so whether that's tops, just trying to sort of get interesting with potentially their last couple years of producing licensed baseball cards. You mentioned before we came on, it's a good way to if that's what they're doing, maybe leave less rookies for fanatics when they first enter the arena. I don't like it. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't like it. And we've sort of got with, especially in the baseball, we've sort of got off track with, it used to be more set in stone when a card can be produced, and that seems to have been blurred in the last few years, at least to me. So, um,
Well, first thing to say is that everybody who's interested should read Ryan Cracknell's article on Beckett.com.
yeah,
It's very succinct to explain why Beckett is listing as a rookie card, and it's based on the 15 years of historical perspective since the big change in 2000, actually 16 years now, since the big change in 2006. And it's very consistent with what Beckett would do to call them rookie cards. And we went through that. I was still there in 2006. it was quite a shock to the system because, as pointed out in the article, Justin Verlander had rookie cards in 2005 update, for example. I believe so did Matt Kemp. And there were some other people too. And then they have 2006 cards. And so they have so Beckett did an RC parens as a way to show that they are considered by the manufacturers and now the leagues and licensors and the Players Association rookie cards, but they actually had previous cards. The same thing's going to happen in 2022 to all the Wander Franco cards, where they will have in Beckett the RC with the parens designation. And as I said, it's a really good job by Ryan explaining yesterday and today. So I thought and I don't expect anything less from Ryan Cracknell. He's a very good journalist, and he's a very good hobby journalist. And to say it's expected from him, but it's expected from him to do a really good job. So I would strongly recommend reading it. And it will take, as I said, I pointed out several things in our chat. I gave 3 or 4 suppositions as to why this was done. I mean, I don't know. Unless Top says something, we won't know.
Well, they're not gonna
say anything. But
yeah, they're not gonna say yes. We did that to muddy the waters up, or a little middle finger to the new guy coming in. They're not gonna say that.
Also, and I just see Bo pointed out there are mistakes. And remember, Sue's pointed out in our overtime groups that if she were at Top, she'd probably be still at Top. She'd probably be looking for a new job right now. She'd be looking around to see what was available. It is also totally plausible that there's already been some people the minute the Fanatics announcement came that left Tops, and throwing people into a new position that they may not really be totally ready for. Brand managing is not an easy position. Use a lot of details, and it's down the stretch it becomes really deep. It becomes. We've talked about this. I think Dr. Beckett and I talked about this in an upcoming podcast. That you can do all the prep work you want, and the first few months are pretty easy. But when you get to the last few months of publishing a magazine or printing a card set, they become very intense. And if you don't have your checklist, or you've never done it before, you can make mistakes like that. So that's why I'm saying there are so many different suppositions that I don't want to put words into anybody's mouth. But I did point into our hobby hotline group chat some of my potential suppositions, just almost like 1, 2, 3, 4. Could it be 1? Could it be 2? Could it be 3, 4? Or could it be a combination of them? Things happen. Things have happened a long time. I wrote an errors and variation column for a long time. I mean, trust me, people make mistakes.
Yeah, I know Bo believes, at least he commented. I don't know. It's hard to. I'm assuming he's not being sarcastic, that he thinks it's by accident, with no malice in mind. I don't know. I find that hard to believe. Chris, you want to chime in on this one? This is right up sort of your alley as well. Did we lose him? Yeah, I think we lost Chris.
Chris?
So
he
froze.
Call in to replace Chris while he's actually focusing on driving, which I'd rather he do anyway.
Yeah. So don't drive in Hobby Hotline. That's our new
don't drive in Hobby Hotline
for 2022.
But please call.
No, and Bo saying no sarcasm. He's saying he believes it's and again, I don't know. We're all speculating here in the moment. I just
Can you hear me now?
Oh, Chris is back.
Yes. Yes. Keep your hand on the wheel, please.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's get your thoughts on this.
Well, my thoughts on this is, why doesn't Wander Franco have rookie cards this year? Shouldn't he have rookie cards in 2021? I mean, he did. I mean, when the Players Associations came out with this rookie card rule in 2006, we were led to believe, meaning collectors in the hobby, that if you played in a game that season, you were entitled to have a card that season. And if you were a rookie, you were entitled to have, your card was going to have that little icon on it.
Well, Chris, actually, when they began,
wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
But there was going to be a cutoff date of September the 1st, which is the date that the rosters expanded. So if you made your Major League debut before September 1st, you would have a rookie card that year. But after September the 1st, your card will be pushed back to the following year. Now, over the last couple of years, that September 1st date has been pushed forward. The problem is that the Players Association, which is really the one that's doing it, it's not Topps, they haven't announced what this date is and why they've done it. You know, a couple of years ago, Jordan Alvarez was the Rookie of the Year for the Astros, but he didn't have an MLBPA licensed rookie card in the year he was Rookie of the Year. We had to wait for the following year. Why? Nobody has ever come out and explained why they have changed these rules. And now this has led to this debacle that we're seeing now with Wander Franco. Can we have a little more transparency from the Players Association as to why they are doing this?
And here's the thing. I mean, he probably should have been an update in the very least.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes,
You know,
because what the Players Association is doing is basically sacrificing all the late season products like Update in order to goose a lot of the early 2022 sets with rookies that really don't need to be goosed. I mean, Series 1 Topps Baseball is year in and year out one of the biggest selling, if not the biggest selling product of the year. You don't need to goose it up anymore. You don't need to hold back on rookies. People are going to buy this anyway. I don't understand what the rationale is.
Okay, by the way, I just looked up Jordan Alvarez. He made his debut on June 27th in 2019.
Yes.
There is no reason Jordan Alvarez should not have had late year rookie cards in 2019. That's enough time. That's the All-Star game. But let's change, you know, and I will say that it kind of affects 2021, but I will say that this year some of the eligibility could change for 2021 because baseball changed how you expand your rosters on September 1st. I believe instead of being able to go to 40, they only went to 30. And they were already carrying 26, 27, 28 guys. So you only could really call up 2, 3, 4 people. So I'm okay with pushing it back. Let's just say August 1st, July 1st, whatever. I agree with Chris on that. There should always be a date. Or even if you just say the All-Star game. And that way it can be moved a little. But, the All-Star game, if you're up before the All-Star game, you're eligible for that year.
And make it consistent.
Oh, I think we lost Chris again.
Yeah, Chris is here.
Oh, all right.
And
you look like you froze.
And make it consistent and make it every year and tell people why you're doing this.
No, I agree.
There should be no excuse for this.
September 1st.
We collectors should not tolerate this anymore.
Yeah, but what do you do? Like, just not buy the product? I mean, I've said collectors and hobbyists have had that wand of power, if you will, but no, not enough people use it. Whether it's buying into breaks.
Also, let's remember that one of the key reasons these rookie card rules got changed was after the amazing year in 2001 for the baseball card hobby. We had Albert Pujols and Ichiro Suzuki, rookies in 2001, neither of whom had any cards. Ichiro had Japanese league cards. Pujols had nothing other than maybe a minor league set. They were new rookies in 2001. And of course, they took the league by storm, both of them. And therefore, the sales were astounding on 2001 product. We had just gotten out of a recession, and boom, there it was. And everybody paid attention, said, it's a good idea to have a set form of rules for when a player can be a rookie card. And I think and I'm going to say this, maybe if Fanatics really does work closely with both the owners and the Players Association, both the licensors, the MLB and MLBPA, and we get to reestablish this is going to be the rookie card rules. And I think that will help. There'll be a couple of years where you'll have to cycle through some issues, just like we're seeing. But once you get those, you got 20 years with the contract, if I remember correctly. Once you get those rules squared away, you're going to have smooth sailing when it comes to rookies. And one of the things with baseball is, remember, they have football and basketball and baseball. Football and basketball, for the most part, your rookies are rookies in the rookie year. You don't have a minor league system. Occasionally you get somebody doing like Kurt Warner arena football. And occasionally somebody comes up from a semi-pro minor league football team. And basketball, you do have the G League, so you might have some kids decide not to go to college. They are starting to prep the G League, so you may have to work that in. But it's a far different circumstance than baseball, where you have, for the most part, let's say 2, 3, 4 years. Bobby Witt Jr.'s got a bunch of cards because he's played baseball.
Yep.
He's
well,
played baseball.
A couple comments from Michael Ham, which I kind of echo. He kind of is reading my mind. Like, Bowman first is the XRC, the tops after debut, usually in updates to rookie. I'm a Bowman first guy. I think that's a little more strategy to acquire a young prospect 3 or 4 years out. I think it's easier. So I like the Bowman first. I think they're sort of undervalued. I know they're not short printed per se, unless you get into the colored in autos. And then another comment from Michael. He says Bowman, going back to the 90s, was accepted as the first and main pro card of a player. I hate when a guy has 3 years of cards in Bowman product and does not debut till year 4 for the rookie card. And that's the big thing. But when Bowman came back and became prevalent, and what is Bowman's tagline, right? Home of the rookie card. And they sort of blurred that line, and it got confusing.
Bowman had rookie cards, as pointed out, way before the people make the major leagues, and that was something else the other manufacturers really objected to, because under the rules of the time, Mariano Rivera has a 92 rookie card, but he doesn't really become a star until 95, 96. Derek Jeter, he's got like 92 Upper Deck minors. He's got 93 Bowman. He's rookie of the year in 96. There are plenty of examples of people whose first card are Bowman cards because Topps could use everybody. But the other manufacturers had to make sure they were on the 40-man roster before they could even use them as prospects or rookies. So that gave Topps a huge advantage of who to put in as a rookie card. And as I said, then when the 2001 explosion hit, well, all of a sudden you've got a situation where, wait a second, everybody can make more money. We as the licensors can make more money if rookie cards are actually rookie cards in their rookie year, which actually makes sense. It's never been anything I've objected to, because you want to have an active, vibrant hobby. Rookie cards should be rookies they should be rookie cards in the year they show up in the majors. There's a common sense element to that.
Yep. Couple more comments. Facebook user doesn't say who you are. I apologize. They should tell us why they raise prices too. They just don't care, guys. They do whatever they want. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. They do whatever they want. The boom of the last couple years has given them sort of a license to kill. I'm not sure if it's the same Facebook user, but This isn't done to help flagship. They push these guys a year to help everything in between, from Gypsy Queen to Chrome. A hot rookie debuts in May. Then you won't see a card usually until July, and then redemption after that. I just thought about something. I mentioned how maybe Topps is doing this to give a middle finger to Fanatics. Now that I think about it, really not. They're actually, it's more affecting them. I mean, they have
Well, yeah, they
cards
still
in
have the license next year. It doesn't
2022.
affect,
Yeah.
it doesn't affect
So
Fanatics.
I'll take that back. I'll strike that statement. It'll be curious to see what they do their real last year, potentially, of
But this
producing
does set them up if they
baseball.
want to do something their final year. That does set them up to as a precedent for it. So that you do have that.
Yeah. So with that being said, I mean, they still have the license in 2022. By doing this, in a way, they're sort of hurting themselves. I don't know if it's, I saw the Bowman Best. I haven't opened any yet. That's actually a sharp looking card, based on pictures. I like the design of it. I don't know. Bowman Best is probably traditionally not, one of their stronger brands. I don't know if it's to push the product, but in turn, you're helping that product, and then putting the rookie designation on 2022. Again, it's blurring the lines. It's confusing a whole heck of a lot of people, including people who've done this a long time. So it's not just where new folks are like, "What's going on? I don't get this." Right? It's established folks as well, including myself. And I've always sort of been a Bowman first guy. I collect a lot of Bowman first. I speculate with them. I kind of, I'm old school. I still consider them rookie cards. It's the first card of that player, and if they go on to become a superstar of the game, it's the first card that ever was made of them. But I know other people don't share that same sentiment. And that's the thing. It's created sort of that divide a little bit, hobby wise, collector wise, where Bowman first is not the real rookie. You sort of got the hobby against, taking up sides of the aisle, like Democrats and Republicans. Bowman first are not rookies. Yes, they are. And, you pit people against one another. I don't always think that's, sometimes that's good because good things come out of discussions, but sometimes it's not good as well because it creates some disdain and angst. So,
Well,
I don't know.
one of the things to
Go ahead,
remember,
Rich.
John, is that this has happened before, but it's usually on
Yep.
like an online product like Topps now. This
Yep.
is the first time this has happened in recent years with what we'll call a mainstream hobby product. I believe Jordan Alvarez had a Topps Now card in 2019 with the RC logo on it, if my memory is
Now
correct.
they put it like instead of they would put the words "call up" on it for those cards because Wander Franco had a Topps Now card this year that instead of the icon, it had "call up" on it. But those kind of products aren't generally recognized as real rookie cards anyway. Because
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, rookie call up, and then in some of the Topps products, you got the rookie debut where they talk about the first game, which I don't look as kind of rookie cards. I know Acuna's had a little value for a while there. They still have some value depending on who the player is, but that's the thing. If you ask 10 different people in the hobby, what do you consider a true rookie card? You'll probably get 3-4 different answers from 10 different people.
I see we have Victor in our chat, and he's the rookie card specialist, and he does.
If he went, there he is. Yep. More shenanigans, more muddy waters, and no accountability. Yeah, I agree. And Victor, you're welcome to call in, man. You're the as your title says. If you want to, speak and get more information out there. But yeah, it's just. And imagine you're new, like here. Listen, me and Rich, Chris, we've been doing this a long time, and we're having this discussion where it's blurry. Imagine you're a new hobbyist, and you're entering the arena, and you're like, "What is this? What's a rookie? What's not a rookie?" I mean, it can be if it's a little bit daunting to us, it's definitely going to be daunting to someone maybe not as experienced or new to the space. And I don't think that's a good thing. I don't know why it's been done. Maybe the middle finger, like you mentioned, Rich, is to the Players Association rather than Fanatics at this point. Like, hey, you didn't even stay with us either, because they lost, in a sense, both of those licenses, the Players Association and Major League Baseball. We're just gonna kind of go rogue here and do what we want to do with some of these guys. That makes you wonder: can there be any sort of litigation coming from this?
No, you
Potentially,
cannot litigate this one, folks. I mean,
Uh,
because all because I remember I pointed out in our group chat several different things, including you just may have somebody who's never done a brand management for a product before and didn't realize what needs to be done, and it could just be a human it could just be a normal error. So there's plenty of options out there. I delineated in our chat at least 4 different options. I'm sure I missed some. So it's one where it's up in the air. I mean, unless Topps tells you, hey, this is what happened, which they're not, as you said, that's probably not going to happen. Unless they tell you this is what happened, we'll just have to accept it is what it is. As Popeye, it is what it is.
I don't think.
Go ahead, Chris.
I don't think we're ever gonna know. Ever.
Yeah.
So.
And Bo makes a great point with his comment, right? It's the consumers. It's us that determine what's the most desired card for a particular player. You mentioned the Mantle. Most Mantle's rookies, the 51 Bowman, but we all know the 52 Topps is the highly sought of the two and the higher valued card of the two. And there's people walking around who believe the 52 Topps Mantle's his rookie card. It isn't. And they probably think that because of what it goes for. They go, well, if a card's bringing that kind of millions of dollars, that's his rookie. It's not, but it's become an iconic card. So Bo's right. I mean, it's going to be us who determines what, but it's also hard to compare this era of cards to that era of cards too, because there wasn't that many brands. You know what I mean? You're talking with Mantle, you're in a sense talking about one card because there's 51 Bowman, 52 Topps. In today's space, as we all know, a rookie can have 150 different rookie cards to sort through and to be which one's going to be the best one, right? I don't even think there is that, because if you get, with Bowman, you get a colored auto, and it can be confusing to even the most experienced of collectors or hobbyists. So you can't. It's like comparing players' playing performance from different eras. I don't know. It's not easy to compare 150 a time where there's 150 different brands produced to a time when there were at most was 2 or 3, and most of the times just 1. So it's tough. But he's right in the respect that that we as consumers are going to sort of set the price, whatever someone's willing to pay. And I'm not just talking the $1 million cards. I'm talking $10 cards, $20 cards, and on up as well. So we'll see. We'll see what. Go ahead, Chris.
You mean to say that for collectors, that little icon may not actually matter?
Well, I think for some people it's a talking point. I mean, it does matter. I mean, whenever we open something, we want to hit most likely a hot prospect rookie with that RC logo on it. I think I know I'd be lying if I said otherwise. And there's times I've opened product and like there's no rookie card logo on this. It probably should be, but he's already So it's like Rich was saying, it's sort of been blurred. He mentioned when Fanatics kind of comes in, they have a 20-year license reportedly. Maybe we'll get more of a clarity there. But who's to say Fanatics doesn't do their own edition of Bowman. And so the problem continues. It just, instead of being a Topps issue, it becomes sort of a Fanatic, whatever they call their version of Bowman, Fanatics First.
And
I don't know.
I also want to point out that back in the overproduced era, that you could very easily, we used to call cards best cards sometimes. For example, after Steve Avery had such a dominating time in the 1991 playoffs, he had a 1989 Topps rookie. I mean, it doesn't have a rookie logo, but he was a draft pick, and it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But the 1990 Leaf was such a better set that the 1990 Leaf went to like $15. I know it's kind of hard to believe the word Steve Avery and $15 in the same sentence. But
I believe it.
Yes. Yeah. There were plenty of situations like that where if you have a 91 in football, 92 Stadium Club, high numbers became better than 91 rookies. And there are tons of examples like that.
Go ahead, Rich. Sorry.
No, go ahead, John.
Well, I was just going to say, you mentioned that 90 Leaf set. That 90 Leaf set is interesting in itself because it was viewed sort of at that time, the new premium brand. And you saw like a lot of cards, not now anymore, but there was a lot of players in that went to double digits. I remember Rafael Palmeiro was an expensive card in that set. I believe Lawton. I mean, now the two biggest ones really out of it are the Griffey and Frank Thomas, and even those have come down considerably to levels they were at, obviously. But that was sort of like the new premium brand, and everyone was, any young player that had a good year or a hot postseason, that the 90 Leaf version of their card just like shot up more than any other versions of their card. And we learned later on, right, that there was a lot more 90 Leaf than produced than we kind of thought, at least initially.
There may be a lot more 90 Leaf, but it's still very minuscule in some ways compared to 90 Topps or 90 Dominus or 90.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
They may still be making those sets.
Yeah. No, you're right. And then 93S, the next one in my memory, and then 93 SP came along, and obviously you had the Jeter craze, and there's always that set that creates sort of a buzz. 89 Upper Deck with the Griffey, but back then too was easier to determine a rookie card. Let's be honest. I think the big thing was when Bowman, and I'm not talking like 89 Bowman, I'm talking sort of the new rendition of Bowman came along. And, anytime you get cards produced of a player who's 3-4 years away from making any sort of impact on the professional level, it's gonna muddy the waters, kind of confuse people. Is that the rookie? Is the rookie after he starts? And I'm a fan of First Bowman, as much as I'm sort of throwing him a little bit under the bus too. I like it. I think the problem with Bowman was just so many of the offshoots of it, right? Bowman Platinum, Bowman Chrome, Bowman Draft. I know I'm leaving some off. Regular Bowman, and then in the last couple of years, Bowman First Edition, online only. Like, there's just too, like, I like Bowman. I like the premise of it, sort of guys before they really break through, but they just Topps went nuts with Bowman. And
John, 89 Bowman, those players didn't develop. 89 Bowman had plenty of guys that were rookie prospects. I mean, there are people you've never heard of, like Austin Manahan and Johnny Ard, God rest his soul, who passed away way too young. They have cards in 89 Bowman. That's, they never played in the majors, but they were doing the prospects as far back as 89. They did prospects the first year. If you look at the checklist, there are people you've never heard of in 89 Bowman, and they were the prospects.
A lot of those 89 Bowman players were first round draft picks.
Yeah,
there were many of the same players that were in Topps that year.
Yeah,
but I think there were a couple of players that signed kind of late and weren't included in Topps, but were included in Bowman. I think Royce Clayton is probably the best known of those names. But 89 Bowman was basically another flagship set. It was structured pretty much the same way as regular tops, only with different size. So
Yeah, well, it became a flagship brand, and I remember, the big thing obviously again was Griffey being in it. A lot of people I remember didn't like it because of the size. Hey, it doesn't fit in my protectors, or what do I got to do? Buy a whole bunch of new stuff. Truthfully, if Griffey wasn't in that product, let's say, it's not a very expensive product now. But if Griffey wasn't in it, that thing would be really, really flat. And there's John chiming in, Tino, Chef and Smolch. Yeah, I remember the 90 leaf. It's funny you mentioned Sheffield. I remember that 90 leaf Sheffield was. I remember having it in my showcases at a show with a $25 price tag on it, and
one of the things for
selling some of
89
them.
Bowman, Tino Martinez did take a few years to make the majors, but both Sheffield and Smoltz were in the majors in '89. Smoltz has '88 Fleer update, and so he's playing in the majors.
And Sheffield's rookie's 89, but I remember the 90 Leaf because he had a great year. Like people, because they love the design of 90 Leaf. There were people who basically were trying to, in a sense, make that like a premium rookie card, even when there's no way it can be.
Well, it's a better card than the overproduced 89.
No, I agree with you.
Maybe 89 Upper Deck is close, but it's definitely a better card than Topps or Fleer or Donruss in 80. The 90 Leaf is definitely a much more attractive card.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this is all gonna play out. Bowman Best. Every product in a sense sells out between breaking and distributorship, but it'll be interesting to see the aftermarket on some of these cards and how people view them. Is this going to be a Wander Franco that people who like Wander Franco and want to buy his cards say, hey, this is coming out, before next year. I'm going to get it now. This is where I can buy, other than a Topps Now card that's been produced, which was way.
And it's not just Wander Franco.
No, I know, but I'm using him as the poster boy.
He's the key example. But Chris is right. There's like 5 or 6 players that are. And one of the things is these cards are numbered as part of the regular.
But there's
set.
like.
Chris?
Did we lose you?
There's Jason.
Yeah, Chris, you're breaking up. I don't know if we're in a bad spot.
But Chris is right. There's more than Wander Franco. We're just using him as the primary example because he is the biggest name involved in this issue.
Biggest name. He's already played. He just got a huge contract, and he's going to start barring like a brutal spring, and even then he's probably got the job at least to start with. So
you're paying him that much money. He's got the job, assuming
no doubt.
You don't pay somebody that much money to have them go to the minors.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm using him. I know it's more than just him. I'm just saying because let's be honest.
There's also.
Go ahead, Chris.
And there's also Jason Dominguez. And there's also like 5 or 6 first-round draft picks that are in the base set. So there's like 7 or 8 players. Adley Rushman's in the set. There's like half a dozen players.
Dominguez, Bobby Witt Jr., Spencer Torkelson from the Tigers, Austin Martin from the Blue Jays are just some of the names. Yeah, and a lot of these are supposed to be, the can't miss guys, if you will. We know how that goes sometimes. So from Markdown, he says, I thought the rule applied to Topps brand sets. You have Dominguez, who is years away, Mayer, who just who just his first Bowman the same day.
Yeah, but none of these players, except for Wander, have actually played in the majors yet. So they shouldn't have rookie cards this year, but they're going to have one because of this.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Beckett checklist. They still have to add. They still have not yet added the RC to all these people in their checklist, even though they've made the announcement. And I know some of it could be just because of when this. To be honest, to defend Beckett on this, when this broke, they probably were home. They're probably already left, to go home for the holiday, So it'll be a couple days before it'll be officially on the checklist. But I'm looking at the checklist. I saw Bobby.
I think on the checklist that Topps issued, they did put RCs next to the players that normally would have an RC, like Jared Kalenek, that guy, and some of the others that have had rookies already. So Wander didn't have an RC next to his name. Jason Dominguez, Rushman, Torkelson, the 5 or 6 first-round draft picks that are in this set, they don't have RCs next to them, so they're going to have to add those
and
players.
That's not a difficult add in the database. I mean, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But it's just something it's going to be really weird because the corporate decision's already been made, but it needs to be done on the physical checklist. But that's just a minor.
And I still believe that the players that would have been put into a prospects insert set do have a different base set design as the players that should have made the base set in Bowman's best. So,
well, it has to do more with the card numbering than the design.
That's what I mean. But normally, Bowman's best.
How many times do you look at a card set and you realize there's a different design for players based on certain things? I mean, on a more extreme example, if you look at Topps Archives Baseball, where they use 4 or 5 different sets as their base for doing it, there's different designs. Panini Chronicles, they're using all their different designs in Chronicles. So I mean, I'm
just talking about the way Bowman brands have traditionally been structured over the last 10, 15 years, where you have the base set that has one design, and then the prospect insert set has a different design. And they did do that in this year's Bowman's Best. It's just that the set is sequentially numbered 1 to 100 instead of 2 separate sets that are numbered separately.
Right, and I see Victor ask, can you call it back? Well, you can't call it back because the product hit yesterday. I mean, they may try, but they can't succeed.
Yeah, it is out. It is out. So, I mean, you can't put the horse back in the barn. I like this comment from John. I agree. The only can't misses are in the Hall of Fame or knocking on the door. Exactly. Here. I agree with you there. It's going to be interesting. Again, at the end of the day, right, it's going to be us, the consumer, with our wallets and eBay and PayPal accounts and all that determine, how we view these cards. Are they viewed as rookies? Are they viewed as just sort of another Bowman pre-rookie kind of prospect card? It'll be us that determines that. But it's just so confusing. I think that's where the controversy lies. I mean, Rich, why? I mean, if you had to pick a reason, why do you think Topps did it? You think it's a complete oversight, or you think they're trying to?
I have 4 different reasons. I'm just going to go with probably just a human error, and probably somebody just didn't realize when you make your checklist and all that why you do that. And it's just, to me, it's just an error of somebody who may be a little bit inexperienced as a brand manager doing something.
Yeah. Comment from Bo. They definitely can't reprint it with their printing facility displays. And someone was going to say, well, they fixed that Braves Topps Now card that had the Braves winning in 5 rather than 6, and had Dusty
Yeah, but
Baker being the man.
John, the
But
difference is on the Braves
that's a
top
different
now card, they
printer.
print those in house.
Yeah, that's where
You
I
know,
was going.
you can fix anything you print in house, but this is
Here's a weird.
This is
Here's a
outsourced
weird.
Carta Mundi, and Carta Mundi
no.
already, as we've discussed.
That's where I was going, Rich. Is there any? They're not going to do it anyway. This is all just something to chew on. I mean, could Topps ever? Man, I mean, it'd probably be too much work. Ever like actually just print corrections in house of a product that they had printed at Carta Mundi? I don't know if that's even.
I think you have to print too many cards.
I think a couple of years ago they actually recalled a Topps tribute brand because all the autographs were smeared. And then what they did is that whatever product hadn't been sold or broken yet, they bought it back and then repackaged it and released it later in the year. I think that was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago they did that.
Yeah,
you're talking about a quality control issue, and they're not going to do that with Bowman's best.
Yeah, the best, John, again, the best free press are organic or manufactured errors in 2019, and on tiny insert had a rookie logo.
I should also point out that the Wander Franco doesn't have an RC logo on it, so they did that part correctly.
No.
Yeah.
The key is how it's numbered in the set, but it does not have the RC logo on it. So, let's remember, it's just the reason it's popping up is because of the card numbering, not because they got it right with not putting the RC logo on it. If you're not going to have an RC, if Wander Franco is not supposed to be an RC, you don't put the logo on the card. They got that part correct. It was the card numbering that I think popped up.
And here's the crazy thing, though, Rich. It probably should have an RC designation since he's played and
marked down. I mean, it's pointed out in Ryan's article that things like 2009 Daniel Murphy doesn't have the RC logos on the card, but it's an RC. And I'm going to take an aside on a second on this. Daniel Murphy's recently retired, and I have a 3-year-old great nephew who's battling cancer, what they suspect is cancer. And thanks to the Tom Coughlin J Foundation, Murphy actually visited my great nephew about a week ago at the hospital. And of course, the 3-year-old, being a 3-year-old, started showing off his muscles and talked about playing t-ball. But, and there's a lot of good things. So I'm going to say the J Foundation does a lot of really good work. And they call it the J Foundation in Jacksonville, but it's the Tom Coughlin J Foundation, which I discovered when I looked it up. So, and God bless Tom Coughlin. Thank goodness that he was the coach of the Giants that twice beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So he's got that going for him too.
Yeah, and he's not far from here. It's his hometown, Seneca Falls. So
yeah, so there's a lot to be said for. So there are mistakes made, and that's why, Mark, that's why I pointed out the Daniel Murphy comment, because Ryan specifically mentioned Murphy. It happens. And then it happens the other way too. There's a Gerald Laird rookie prospect in a Topps Heritage set about 6 years after his rookie year in the majors. They just missed it. It happened. I mean, you look at Gerald Laird, it's a rookie card. No, it's like 6 years after he comes up, but it's still a rookie prospect card in Heritage. And sometimes it's almost a bit of a joke. Way back in the day, in the overproduced era, or what I call the overproduced era, Danny Boone was a relief pitcher. He's got like 81, 82 rookie cards, and he bounces around for 7-8 years. I think he even pitches in the senior league. He comes back like 89, 90, or 91. He's got a 92 score prospect card. He's already got rookie cards in the 80s, early 80s, but he's an early 90s.
It's funny too. Like a 96 score, if you pull a 96 score Derek Jeter, it says rookie on it. It says rookie. I don't have one nearby, or I'd show you. But
and then it having nothing to do with baseball card logos. The Detroit Tigers had a utility infielder. I'm going to get his name wrong. I'm going to call it Chris Gomez. It may not be Chris Gomez, but he was the Tigers Rookie of the Year, 93 and 94. or 92 and 93, 2 straight years he was the Tigers Rookie of the Year. Because he was the best young guy they brought up one year, didn't hit his rookie designation, played a lot the next year, and he's Rookie of the Year for them again. So weird things happen.
Yeah, Randy Arozarena was kind of that guy for the Rays this year. You know, he had a great kind of debut, but he didn't have enough at bats. He still qualified as a rookie, and many people were sort of surprised when he won. Like, he's a rookie. He played last year, did pretty well. Had that great postseason that everyone assumed he wasn't a rookie anymore.
And hockey, you have the great story of Kenny Dryden leading the Canadians to the Stanley Cup championship in 1971. And by the way, he's Rookie of the Year the next year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It can be confusing. You know, I guess at the end of the day, you know, speak with your wallets and buy what you like. And, you know, I saw that I haven't opened any as of yet. I'm not even saying I'm for sure going to, but, you know, traditionally Bowman's best designs don't knock my socks off. I think most people would probably agree with that sentiment for the most part, but I like what, you know, again, not seeing it in person, but seeing it visually on social media posts and pictures. It's a lot better than what we've come to expect from it. At least I think it is. And so I don't know if that, you know, I don't know if that's going to be enough to make it more desirable. If this controversy is going to make it more desirable, but we'll have to see what, you know, secondary market says and what some of these cards bring. But you know, I mean, to me, I almost wish you wait to 1 year to make someone's rookie cards and just make it less confusing for folks. But I think those days are over with Bowman now, and it'll be interesting to see what Fanatics does. Does Fanatics launch a Bowman type brand where they do prospect cards of guys that are 3, 4, 5 years away from major league impact, and you know, and how they designate that as well, and how the hobby public you know, receives that and accepts that too. So we'll see.
You know, we've done a pretty good job. We originally, before this broke, we were going to spend the hour talking about, you know, what 2021 in review. But I think we should just go back to your podcast that you posted yesterday about, and this is just some of the highlights of 2021, and just go there. I think that's a safer way. Otherwise, we'll do another hour.
Yeah, no, I think I don't think we want to get into another topic now.
So, John, let's go to the Sports Card Nation podcast that he dropped yesterday with his Newmies, and we'll just say that'll work for our 2021 review. So, go, John, go.
Yeah, and I'll do a hobby quick hits Monday, which will be sort of a personal year in review, hobby year in review, and sort of a look ahead to 2022. I'm not a big hobby goals guy. I don't set a million of them, but I have a couple that I want to employ. I'll kind of talk about that.
And I want to thank everybody in the chat who's really contributed as well today. It's been really, really good with the chat. We appreciate that. You still have a few minutes to call in, but failing that, we're starting to approach the end of the hour. So I just want, we want to wish everybody good health in 2022, good hobby. May you all get the hits you want. Bo, as I go through my donations, I'm pulling together. I pull out some interesting Patrick Wisdom cards for you because you're now his drinking buddy. You have to listen to Bo's.
Listen, I know it's not a sports or hobby topic, but you know, Betty White passed away yesterday, and you know, not a hobby icon, but you know, entertainment icon,
pop culture icon.
Yeah,
yes, a true legend.
You know, literally 2 weeks from her 100th birthday, and people did a magazine cover like saying turning 100. My buddy texted it to me. He's like, people killed Betty White. They jinxed her.
Well, it's the Sports Illustrated jinx. That's now the People jinx. And since they were both created by Time Inc., In a way, it kind of fits.
You got the Madden cover Jinx, and I guess now we got the people cover Jinx. But Dan Reeves,
I saw, and
Dan
John, I
Reeves
saw that
passed
this
away.
morning, age 77 for Dan Reeves, and I had forgotten, but he was coach of the New York Giants for a few years too, in addition to leading the Broncos to several Super Bowls.
Yeah, yep.
And he's a
And
former
the
Dallas
Falcons.
Cowboy.
They say things happen in threes, right? When we get these deaths. So we had Madden, Betty White, Dan Reeves today, and it's it happened. It's part of life.
All right,
But
all righty then. So we're approaching the top of the hour. We
Yep.
got through an hour on the rookie card debate.
Well, I think what that says is, and a lot, like you said, Rich, a lot of comments in the chat room about it too. I think it's a hot, but I think people care, right? People care about their cards. They care about their hobby. They want some sort of structure in it. Some sort of rules that we can know. And that's the thing. We sort of had rules we thought we knew, and then when things like this happen, it sort of knocks that cart over and like, well, now what's going on? So I think people
and
like.
Sometimes you have traditional things, but I just want to point out LeBron James became the oldest player ever to drop like 40 points and 10 rebounds in a game last night.
Yeah, well, he's probably with his age now getting up there, he's probably going to set some of those old guy NBA records. I mean, he can still play. I'm not a LeBron guy per se myself, but I mean, he's a heck of a player. Anytime you're in the conversation with Michael Jordan for GOAT, greatest of all time, you're doing something right. So,
and speaking of the greatest of all time, we thank the people in our chat. We thank our host John Newman, and let's have a wonderful 2022. And Chris, do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, getting back to this whole rookie card thing, I just want more transparency in the hobby. If you're going to do something, tell us why. I don't think that's asking for too much.
But do you
you don't have to, but
I mean, I don't know.
There's no reason for Topps to tell us or the Players Association to tell us. It would be nice, but
again, not to keep the conversation going, we're wrapping up, but one thing I want, whether you like the deal that Fanatics got and they're coming into space, the one thing I'm curious to see is how they will or won't be different than what we've got for the last 70 years. Like, I didn't want Topps to lose their license, let's say, but I am curious to see what Fanatics does differently or the same, right? I think a lot of people can say that. What are they going to do? Is there going to, you mentioned transparency. I hear you, Chris, and I'm with you. We're waving the same pennant. Are we going to get more transparency with the change of flags with Fanatics putting their flag up and taking over? I don't know. I hope so. I hope in the very least we get more transparency.
We shouldn't expect it, but
yeah, that's where I was going. I'm not. I'll believe it sort of when I see it, and I hope we get to see it. I mean, that's ultimately what we could hope and wish for. But like Rich said, thank you everybody that's watched this show, downloaded the show, even if you didn't watch it live. I want to personally thank all the hosts. We added new hosts. We added a second show this year on a Tuesday night. It's been well received, and we got a great group of people that do it, and we got a great group of people that watch and download it, and that I'm thankful for, and look to continue that in 2022. I think I speak for Rich and Chris here when I say we're wishing everybody a healthy, happy, and safe 2022. I know, and we look forward to meeting some of you and seeing some of you in person at either some regional shows or the national coming up here at the end of July in Atlantic City.
As Mr. Spock used to say, live long and prosper.
All right, folks. Thanks again. Take care. Happy 2022.
And as Nardwar, the human Serviette, used to say, keep on rocking in the free world.
On that note, we're out. Take care.
All right.